Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Jonathan Sadiq. I got the queen, Demetra K. And I am the 5-star general. It's free Flow Fridays. So you know, Demetra and Jonathan, they going hard to paint. I'm going to let my nuts hang me. Ain't no telling what I'm finna talk about tonight. But somebody finna get the business. I can tell you that much. Man, let's get to it. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in. Because without you guys, we would not have a show. So we definitely appreciate you taking out the time to hang out with my good people and the crazy man here. Let's start it off with some news. Don't say I didn't warn you. Let me take the glasses off so you can see my eyes, all you politicians. All that slick stuff y'all been doing in the last election cycle. You see what happened in Georgia yesterday with what they did? Well, let me tell y'all a secret, Mr. Politician, with all your slick shit you be doing. Guess who got a round trip ticket from Minneapolis to Austin, Texas to stand in front of the election committee next Thursday? Gary W. Monroe. With all of my goddamn information. Oh, don't do it, man. Fuck you. My neighborhood looked the same way it did 40 years ago. You want to play dirty? I'm going to play dirty too. Oh, well, they ain't going to speak to you no more. They don't speak to me any goddamn way. I don't take pictures with you. I told you, I'm going and hang out with my people. I'm going to decimate your ass next Thursday. What's going on, Donovan?
Oh, welcome to the Friday edition, free and flowing Friday. We're glad you guys are here with us. We have some of the best conversations on the internet, and I'm not trying to download any shows or anything like that, down talk any shows, because any information you get is good information. But we are one of the only shows that sends the 5-star general to the front lines. And he's right there in Minneapolis. And I want to remind everybody tomorrow, do not miss. We're going to be live tomorrow during our monthly fundraiser, because we're going to get our candidate on the school board to look out for our children. But real quick, in the news, it's been mighty quiet. Joe Biden has said that he is going to run again for re-election. That's the plan. And he almost forgot to say that. So I don't see how a 82-year-old man is going even to make it that far. If he does, I just don't understand what all that's about. And you guys also heard that Georgia's governor signed in secret. I don't know why, because whenever there's a photo op, politicians love photo ops. A bill to restrict voting rights, which is basically a new Jim Crow law. Now, my question is this. You have a lot of people out there that say this. Well, if you're not at the table, you're definitely going to be on the menu. We got a lot of Negroes that are sitting at the goddamn table. How did this voting rights act that this governor signed get there to begin with? With all of the shenanigans that they can pull to obstruct and all this other stuff, how did it get there? So this man goes behind closed doors, signs the bill, and a black sister gets manhandled by a bunch of white supremacist cops who gave her an order that was full of bullshit. And the question is this, okay? The bill passed, that's a legal thing. Here's my question. For those of you guys that have seen the video, you've seen the video. But why aren't you asking yourself this? This is the youngest woman elected to the Georgia State Representative. She's the youngest one there. Where are the black representatives? Why was she standing alone? And when those goons put their hands on her, where are the black? Ralph Warnock went to visit her in jail. Nice going, black man, Mr. Stand-Up Black Man. We got to start standing up for these black women and let them know there's going to be a price to pay when you put your hands on a black woman. Demetra?
So hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday night's edition of the War Zone. It is Free Flow Friday, where we're going to talk about a whole host of things. And if you guys want us to talk about something, please put it in the comment section so that we can talk about it. Donovan and I and Gary will be monitoring the comment section a little bit more closely on tonight. But if you can do us a favor and share this live so that everyone else can get the information and join in on the conversation, we will greatly appreciate it. So, Gary, what you got for us?
I want to start off with a heartfelt story of people just doing the right things to help people. And I wanted to bring some seriousness. I joke every night. I cut people up. But remember during the freeze, there was an 89-year-old woman, and she didn't have heat, didn't have a gas meter or whatever. And it was all over the news. Let me just show you, okay? You don't mind if I show y'all, huh? Let me just show y'all. Let's try it like this.
Dreading the idea of Arctic cold weather in Houston, but for some people, they're bracing for the reality that they're going to have to deal with it with no heat, like this 89-year-old woman in Sunnyside who we met, and her two daughters were in their 60s, all three of them battling health issues, and none with proper heating in their home.
That's right. And Fox 26's Randy Wallace is live downtown. He's been speaking with them and has their story for us tonight. Randy.
Hey, Jonathan. Ethel Porter paid a family friend to fix a gas leak and plumbing issue on her property. Well, that friend fled with the money, and now she's been living with no gas, heat, or hot water for more than a year.
I'm not going to lie and say I don't. I really need help.
Life has dealt 89-year-old Ethel Porter some hard hands to play.
And they said I had a heart attack, and I didn't even know it.
Rheumatoid arthritis makes it hard for Porter to even get around.
I'm getting up some by myself. I've been where I couldn't even get up by myself.
Porter's two daughters moved in to help her.
My sister on dialysis, and I have breast cancer. So we fight it.
Porter has buried 3 of her 6 kids. That's something no parent should ever have to do, and your mother has had to do it 3 times.
3 times. And then we had he didn't have no insurance, so we all pitched together to do cremate him and stuff. They have his service did.
About a year ago, Porter says she hired a family friend to fix a gas leak and plumbing issues at her Sunnyside home.
I gave them over $1,000 and some.
So they collect her money, but they didn't come finish it.
For more than a year now, the 3 have been living with no gas heat. They try to keep Porter's room as warm as possible.
This is all I got for heat, man. They have a little extra heat in there for heat for them.
It's cold in here right now.
It's real cold in here, and it's supposed to get colder.
A minute ago, you said, feel my hand. Your hand is as cold
like
as
ice. I'm cold-blooded.
Porter spent 35 years with HISD, helping many children.
She always helping somebody, and nobody offered to help her.
Now, after that story you had the mayor who reached out, had, I think, 3 of his representatives reach out. You had Trader Truth, and I'll show you this real quick. Y'all bear with me. I'm not as fast as Demetra, so just bear with your boy for a second. Let's check some. I want to show you. So it's a great story, man. Let's see. Yeah, you see, you had Trey show up, bring her some flowers and candy for Valentine's Day, even though she was a diabetic. You notice my tone is starting to change. And, Karen Shabazz, Boris Miles reached out, the mayor reached out. And today, somebody reached out to me. And you notice that lady is 89 years old. She's a former educator. I love my teachers. And without good teachers, and from back in the day, she was there. I never took her class or went to her school, but I know she was one of those good teachers. I get a call today from the mayor of Sunnyside. You know, we got these informal mayors in these communities. Mayor Sandra Massey Hines, good friend of mine, and she takes care of the seniors as well as the whole community, but seniors are a passion. And she called me a few years back, and she was doing a Cinderella ball just to show some love for the lady seniors. And she needed a $50 donation because she was trying to raise enough money to pay for the food for the ball. And I asked how much was the food. She told me it was $1,200. I dropped her $1,200 off and told her I ain't want no fanfare with it. Let's just take care of the seniors, because without them, I would not be able to eat in the places that I want to eat in. But we talking today, and she told me, now that's a heartfelt story. And she told me, she say, Mr. Monroe, ain't none of them goddamn politicians did nothing for that lady. I say, what? She say, they ain't came back. The lady had to go live with her son. I say, hold on. I say, Trey didn't do nothing? She say, Trey ain't did nothing. And she say, I don't really mess with him anyway, because a couple years ago, and I think that was the flood, she say her name was randomly selected by him to receive a gift card. He called her and told her, you know, if you don't want the card, I'll give it to somebody else. She said, well, no, if it's for me, then I want it. And it's been 2 years and she still ain't got the card. I'm stuck in Minnesota, and I called my good friend Brad Jordan, who's at home sick. Brad, we need to take care of this. He say, money, don't even worry about it. You know what? I'm sick of you motherfuckers that sit in public office. All you do is show up and take fucking pictures. And you shit on this lady, man. If you didn't want to help her, you didn't even have to show up. But all y'all do is use and abuse these senior citizens for their votes. How can you do this to an 89-year-old lady? Maybe it take, and it ain't because I'm running for school board. Ain't it ironic that it's a teacher and I'm running for school board and I'm gonna make something happen? If I got to fly home and make something happen. This makes no sense. You people want to be over these communities, sit in these seats, and you continuously shit on these senior citizens. But they're the ones who consistently go to the polls and they vote and they put you in the office. And this is what you do to them? I hope God send a lightning bolt down and strike you dead in the crack of your ass. Donovan?
Yes, and this is why we are trying to change the narrative and get people to understand that just voting somebody in the office, you got to look at what their record is, especially if they've been in there for 30-something years. They sit there and they do absolutely nothing. There's all kinds of black outlet medias that will show you this. You got Google. You got Google. You've been dealing with the same representative generation after generation, and you keep voting them in, but you look outside of your door, trash everywhere, slumlords, crime, drugs, and then you wonder why nothing's getting done. And that's what these politicians do. They bought into we are no different here in America than the African politicians in Africa. And what I mean by that is this. They enrich themselves, we enrich ourselves. They dance and get happy, we dance and get happy. There is no difference. The only difference between them and us is they have tribal warfare. We have people that are supposedly within our own tribe that fuck us over. And you know, it's got to stop. And I know people are stuck in the era. I may disagree with a lot of civil rights era, but I was raised one way. Respect my elders, because one day, if I'm lucky, I will be one. And we need to start taking care of our elders better than has been taking care of them, instead of taking advantage of them.
It's more than appalling. It's more than appalling that all of the people that sound like they went and visited her personally had the means to help her. I mean, how much does it cost to fix a heater? And then we need to find out the name of that joker that stole her money. He needs to be whoever it was that was supposed to fix her heat and she gave him the money and he didn't do it. He needs to be put on blast. But you mean to tell me the city has, millions in the slush fund for the police? And when the mayor took his ass over there, or the councilwoman, Carolyn Shabazz, they went over there, they couldn't take a check to that woman or say, here's somebody coming by to fix the house or the heat. I mean, like, who are we? These are monsters. We're dealing with real life monsters, as you said, Gary, that will prey upon the weak for a congeniality contest. Or we're going to go over there and take a picture so the world could see we're doing something. You don't think people going to find out that you only went over there? Fuck some flowers and some candy. Did you bring a heat repair guy over here? The candy is cute, but it's like we got a senior citizen, 80, and her stuff is still not fixed. We need to find out how much she needs and get that money to her if it's not already there ASAP in the next couple of days and get that heat fixed. This is unacceptable. She belongs to us. She is a part of our community, and we need to make sure that, because I was cold here in Houston. I'm from California. When that Texas freeze took place, I was freezing. And I'm, almost 39 years younger than her. So I couldn't imagine being almost 90 to endure that kind of horror. And nobody's trying to help her. Like, who are these people? Please don't vote for these people no more.
The Mayor Hines, and if once you get acclimated to Houston, you'll understand who the community mayors are in every community. Mayor Sandra Massey Hines is an angel in disguise. She takes care of her senior citizens. She tries at her best to have relationships with the police department. And her concern is right now, especially in the Sunnyside community, that there are tons of seniors and families who don't have running water, who have low water pressure. Pipes are busted. If you know how to fix this, man, get in touch with Mayor Sandra Massey Hines. I need you to do a good deed. It's not going to hurt you to spend a couple of dollars on some PVC pipe or something and fix a job that only costs maybe $30, $40 and you charging $400 for it. Just fix it for the seniors, man. If I was at home, I don't even know how to fucking do it. I have YouTube teaching me how to get it done. We have to value and appreciate what these seniors have gone through for our privileged asses to be able to eat and drink and do the shit that we want to do right now without going through the shit that they went through. Ain't nobody spitting in your face. Ain't nobody shooting you with no goddamn water hoses. Ain't nobody sicking no dogs on you. But an old lady sitting in her house, 89 years old, we can't get no help for her. And as far as you politicians, you goddamn parasites, you need to go. That ain't what I wanted to say. But you need to go. And you need to go expeditiously. Because this is ridiculous to do this to it. You can get your funky ass on camera. But you can't follow through. My coaches taught me your word is your bond. Your word is your bond. And some of you motherfuckers, y'all sickening, man. Please change the subject, Donovan. Take me somewhere else, because I'm that bad.
Before I change the subject, Demetra, doesn't this sound familiar? Right here in my community, we had a lady that was living with a hole in her roof. And the city wasn't doing anything about it. She had complained or all this other stuff. And the politicians weren't doing anything. I went out there and I read that person the Riot Act. So what I'm saying is you don't have to always wait for the politician. You guys live right next door to this woman. You mean to tell me that people in her community can't even just say, oh my gosh, Miss So-and-so is, having a problem. Let me go do something and see what I can do. That's the problem. We got to stop depending on others to do something, what we should be doing for our own selves. And that's a damn shame. You're in a community that sees our seniors living in this situation, and yet we're riding around, and you can ride around in whatever you want, but you got time to go and to the turkey leg shack and do this. And a human being who put their life on the line to educate us and the next generation, and she's got to live like that. And she has a life of living and giving and doing for others, and that's how we treat her. So very, very sad commentary. I hope somebody will, if I was down there, I definitely would do something. And when I took care of the business here, I went to the city and read them the riot act, and shit got moving and it got fixed. The slumlord got handled. Everybody got their due. Okay. So, so this, I'm helpless. I can't do anything. Yes, you can do something. Get your ass down to City Hall and start moving and shaking. Demetra?
Gary, how much are the repairs? Because a few people are asking, and where exactly is she in Houston?
I need people because I'm just the messenger. So I need people to reach out to Sandra Massey Hines on Facebook, and the good mayor can tell you exactly, what needs to be done. But in the meantime, I'm waiting for Brad to call me back. He's still sick, but he was ready to get up out of his bed. Because that's just the way that it is, man. That's our community, man. I'm not worried about whether the kids or grandkids are doing anything. I just know that I have the ability to help, and I'm going to do all that I can. And my good friend Sean Real is the one that sent me the story initially when it first happened in my inbox. So Sean is even like, man, tell me what I need to do, who I need to reach out to, and let's just do it. Y'all, hold on. Let me go real quick so I can make sure I'm spelling her name right. It's Sandra Massey Hines, and you're spelling Massey, Massie. Last name is Hines. Reach out. I mean, just do it. Do it out the kindness of your heart. God will give it back to you, man. But we can't let we can't let that go on like that. We can't. And I mean, just to know that these motherfuckers was on the news and taking pictures, and you motherfuckers ain't come back. Even if you'd have came back and lied. But you just didn't come back at all, man.
Straight trash. That's what they are. Trash. So yeah, we're gonna reach out to Sandra Massey Hines. So let's go ahead and switch the subject just a little bit. There's a couple things we could talk about, but let's go ahead and talk about what happened there in Georgia last night. There's a congresswoman by the name of, what was her? No, not congresswoman. She was a representative, Park Cannon. Park Cannon was her name. She was arrested because she went and knocked on the governor's door as he and a couple other people were behind closed doors in a secret meeting, was signing what most people refer to as voter rights suppression, if you will, rolling back a whole lot of voters' rights to that of the Jim Crow era, basically saying people need an ID if they want to vote absentee, and then when they drop the ballot off, they got to show an ID, so they got to show an ID twice. You can't give food or water to people standing in line. And it said it was about 20 or so things that they added to suppress the vote, basically targeting Black and brown people. And so Representative Cannon knocked on the door. Why she knocked on the door, I don't know. But police officers handcuffed her and dragged her to jail, literally dragged her to jail, says that she wasn't supposed to be knocking on the door because official business was going forth, which it was. And it sounds like they told her not to do it, but she did it anyway. And so a couple of people actually reached out to me about this story. And while I don't think she should have gone to jail, I think it's total bullshit. But, you being Black in America, you can't run up in the Capitol like them white folks did on the 6th and get away with it, But my question to you fellas and everybody else who are in the comment section, what did she think she was going to accomplish? Did she think they were going to stop? Did she think they were going to say, well, you're right, Representative Cannon, we shouldn't be suppressing you Negroes? And, I would just think it would behoove her and everybody else there to unify Black people to where it really matters, right? On all levels, so that way they won't feel compelled or like they can get away with going behind closed doors and suppressing the Black vote. What are you guys' thoughts?
But she wasn't going to accomplish nothing. And let me tell you why she couldn't accomplish it. Because you didn't take care of your business at the local and the state level. And we kept trying to tell you, stop forgetting about them races. You kept forgetting about them races. So if you think, and I'm telling y'all, if you think Georgia was messed up yesterday, the state of Texas finna show you, because they control the House. The Republicans control the House, and they finna drop the House next Thursday. Now, there's some things inside of these laws that just are just downright foolishness. Not to give somebody water or something while they standing in line. That's stupid. You need an ID. I ain't got no motherfucking problem with that. Because you got a whole bunch of people living in America that ain't got no motherfucking IDs. And they get more than $1,200 from Biden from me. They get more than $1,200 from Biden than I got. So now you need your ID, homie. And that's how I feel about it. But all in all, she wasn't going to accomplish nothing. But I tell you what, you knocked on the door and went to jail. They was knocking doors down on the 6th of January, and they still at home.
Which goes back to my my point. Okay, I'm very sure there's more than one black person in the Georgia State Assembly. Why was this woman there by herself and nobody standing with her? If, you know, all this was, you know, she wasn't going to accomplish anything, but if it's such an outrage, where were the other black politicians? So obviously they're down with it, like we've been telling you guys. Why is the youngest representative in the Georgia State Assembly, who just got there, she's fairly young, I don't know, you know, maybe she didn't know what she was doing or whatever, nobody stood with her? But we keep telling you guys, these black politicians ain't shit.
The rest of them was sitting in a corner singing, "Oh, nigga, what you gonna say?"
And then when they took her away and they manhandled her, where were the older Uncle Remus head Negroes to protect her or to say, hey, don't handle her that way? Where were they? Nowhere to be found. And then your boy Warnock, well, I visited her in jail. What the fuck that gonna do? We need some people that are actually going to stand up for our folks. Now, a lot of people say, well, you know, there's a lot of seniors that don't have driver's license. Hey, you have all the opportunity in the world to get a driver's license. And really, to tell you the truth, some of these seniors need to stop voting anyway because they keep continually help vote for our oppression.
I want to know more. So where were the other politicians to say, girl, sit your ass down? Okay, let's get over here and let's organize our folks so that when the next time, you know, some voting goes on, we vote these fools out. We vote people who are going to actually serve our better interests. But like Gary said, black people was strolling to the polls and all that other stuff during the national election, but y'all left McConnell in there. Y'all left Kemp up in there, you know, when he was going up against Stacey Abrams. Y'all left all the people who can really do some damage to you in there. And what they have done is potentially fix the next election. So, because Trump told you he was coming back, old ass Biden told you he was coming back. So why you think they trying to fix these elections? Because they know that people are completely done with them, right? So the next best thing is to fix these elections, because they know most of all, too, especially with the local and state elections, a lot of black people really don't turn out like that. So they know if you gonna wait in line for 8 to 10 hours and you know that ahead of time, you're gonna be like, nah, I'm good. And they know that. And like, I was reading where they were saying, some of the representatives were saying, well, a lot of black people don't have a printer where they can make copies of their IDs and all. It's like, woe is me. Swing low, swing chariot kind of stuff. Is like, we don't have a printer is the least of our concerns, okay? Get your folks together and teach them about how to actually organize and use the vote to get those people out of office. Done deal. Like, Georgia has more black people in it than it does in a lot of the country. So why is it still an issue? That I don't get it.
Wait, and then what? Y'all haven't heard of Staples? You haven't heard of Office Max? If you need to make copies of something, when y'all making y'all little homemade stripper parties, you guys go to Staples and get that done. I mean, it's insane how we do this. And here's another thing I want to jump on top of what Dee just said. Not only are they rigging it for the next election, since the Democrats are not doing anything for Black people, there's going to be a whole lot of people that voted for the Democratic Party this last time that won't be moving in the next election.
Well, this is what I'm going to say, that, you know, this thing about folks not having IDs, unless you motherfucking homeless, you got an ID or a motherfucking driver's license. You ain't getting no motherfucking public assistance if you ain't got that. You ain't getting no motherfucking SSI if you ain't got that. Stop all that motherfucking bullshit. Stop all that bullshit, man. But more importantly, the politicians are not lacing you to the game. If you outvoted in the House on the Republican side, then why aren't they running people on in those races? Okay, so you don't have the votes. Okay, well, they ain't finna decimate you at the federal level. They finna bust your ass at the state level. Now they got the power to say if this race is fucked up, they ain't got to take it to the Supreme Court no more. But see, me, I don't really feel bad about it because I know about the voting fraud. I know about it. So is it suppression? Are we trying to stop the suppression? Or are we trying to stop the actual voting fraud? So for those that, it wasn't no voting fraud, you're a lying motherfucker. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And it was being done by the motherfuckers who crying right now that they ain't got the votes to stop these people. You knew when you threw that rock and hid your hand in November that they were going to come out swinging in February to motherfucking April. And they finna hurt y'all, man. Texas finna shock you with what they finna do. I ain't telling nobody. I know. But, you know, Demetri, I'm going to have to put a tie around here next Thursday when I stand in that goddamn chamber in Austin. I'm going to fuck y'all off, man. You got my hood looking like it did 30 years ago. Fuck y'all. Y'all need to go.
Yeah, so I mean, until we get that message, in regards to, like, they're not trying to suppress white people's votes. They're not trying to suppress Asian votes. Yeah, they're trying to do it to the Hispanics, but they ain't gonna do it for too much longer because Joe Biden and Kamala opened up the borders and said, "Hey, come on in," to where they're having huge issues. There was a little girl who drowned, while crossing the border. So they just completely opened the floodgates, not to be derogatory, but they've opened the floodgates. And so pretty soon Hispanics, their votes won't be suppressed either because they'll have a majority. It's always going to be us Negroes who are continuously, I mean, this is some Jim Crow shit right here. We're still talking about the same stuff. Oh, they won't let us vote. Oh, they suppressed the vote. Now, stand in line for 10 hours. We still the same stuff they was talking about back then. We talking about it again. So at some point in time, we just gotta get it, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's some Jim Crow shit, but we got some motherfucking Uncle Toms that's representing us. These motherfuckers ain't up there fighting the way they should be fighting. They ain't fighting in the hood to get the votes that they need in the houses. So if they ain't gonna do the fuck they need to do, they fought to get Biden in there. You ain't fighting to flip your state houses. So if they ain't gonna fight to do that, then shit, what can we do? It's all about votes. And in the houses that I'm talking about, the Republican control those state houses. They finna give you the business, homeboy. I'm telling you.
And what people aren't really realizing is in states that are controlled by Republican state houses, it's not just Georgia passing those voting suppression laws. You talk about almost 30. They said almost 34 states have enacted some sort of voting suppression. Arizona, it's out here on the West Coast. So we got a lot of Republicans out here. Most Hispanics and Asians that come here on the West Coast don't think that they're Democratic because we're a Democratic state. These people open up their businesses and they become Republicans. When they start making the money, they become Republicans. So it's just crazy. But like we're talking about the Jim Crow back in our parents' age and our grandparents' age, right? Here's the thing about it. these are the same people that told us, well, you know what? If we ain't got a seat at the table, we're on the menu. We got all these Negroes sitting at the table and we're still on the menu because those niggas ain't doing nothing. So that doesn't work. We really, really need to come together. Some people are saying in the chat and everything, this is our time. But I'm going to tell you guys this. The Democratic Party is going to lose a lot of votes, not only because of what they've done previously, but by that illegal immigration. That is not popular with a lot of Democratic, especially black folks, because we're seeing what you're doing for the Asians and the Hispanics. And a lot of people who were gung-ho Democrats are now saying, oh shit, we fucked up. The new black media was right. These motherfuckers ain't going to do a goddamn thing for us.
Well, they were so mad at Trump. You don't hear shit about nobody talking about getting drunk. What Maxine Waters with her big ass mouth? She ain't saying a motherfucking thing right now. Because they know you can try to get it, but they gonna get your ass on another level. And we gotta understand, man, it's the lesser of two evils. We try to tell y'all that. We tried to tell y'all that in the beginning. You know, but your man Biden, it's a joke, bro. He can cry, he can complain, but he does not control them state houses. And that's where they finna hurt you the most at.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for that. So let's move on to something else. Let's see, what do I have on my menu today? All right, let's switch it up just a little bit, take a different direction. So I think it was the 17th of March here in Houston. Two sisters by the name of Keandra Young and DeQuisha Williams, maybe y'all know them, I don't know. I decided to go into a beauty supply and I guess they started knocking wigs off the counter. I don't really know what happened, but they were caught on video roughing up the owner by the name of Jung Kim. Okay, they roughed her up pretty bad. And yeah, you guys know this whole little Stop Asian Hate thing is going on. And so, of course, the media is trying to use that because the lady said, as they were whooping her butt, that they were saying, you little Asian girl, and y'all shouldn't be here in the black area, and which I think is total BS. Because you know, with a sister whooping your ass, it's not, hey, you little Asian girl, you a whole bunch of other stuff, but it ain't that. But as I said on my coverage of it earlier, I don't even care. You know why I don't care? Because they were arrested. They were arrested for potential hate crime and assault and a couple other things. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because Black women have been told repeatedly, stay out of those businesses, because they said, well, they were profiling us. No kidding. That's what they do. They profile you in there. You know, you're not buying anything, all that kind of stuff, right? So I don't care. Maybe one day I'll care when they start, stop being hard-headed. But we got too many fish to fry behind hard-headed sisters, because those type of sisters are going to cause some brother to go in there, and we've seen it before, to lose his freedom, to get caught up legally in the system behind them being hard-headed. And I hate to say it, but I don't care what happens to them. Just to be honest with you, you shouldn't have been in there in the first place, especially with Black people being blamed for this Asian uptick, in attack. So what do you guys have?
They need to go to stylists, beauty, the beauty store, and go get your motherfucking hot home. Get you some motherfucking, hair relaxer, and do your own shit. And stop going where you ain't wanted. If they attack that lady, they deserve to go to jail. I don't give a damn if they were Black. But I'm like Demetri, I can't keep preaching this sermon to you ignorant motherfuckers. Just stay running up in there with that shit. You want to run up in there? They talk to you crazy with the hair shit. They throwing hot grease at your ass in the fish market instead of running up in the motherfucker. But whatever come up out of there, that's your business, homie.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny how they fell into the narrative that the national media is trying to push. That makes no sense. There's only one of two ways to do that. Either they're totally ignorant and stupid, or they were paid for the money. But just like I've said on a lot of shows, we have a lot of people within our community, because of the financial situation that the Black community is in. Do not forget, we are less than 12 years away from zero wealth in our community, that you got these butter biscuit Negroes willing to do whatever it takes. If that means selling the nation out, they're going to take that money, because nobody in their common sense would go in there, start beating up some Asians to justify the narrative. Now, you guys know, when you guys go on job interviews, you go in there, you put your best foot forward and all that other stuff, but they already got nephew Charlie already for the position. The only reason you're there is to justify the process, period. So we know that. So why would these girls do that? Like I said, I don't give a damn. You know, leave these people alone. Since they are so, you know, unsafe around us, leave them alone, take your money somewhere else, and let's see how long these people will last in America without the black dollar. That's the best way to hit them. You don't have to go into their shops. Just stop shopping there, Black women.
I'm telling you, these mosquitoes up in Texas, Lord have mercy. That's why I keep looking, because it keeps like circling my head. I just don't want to get caught in my hair. So anyway, let's go ahead to something else. This is what you got, Gary?
Say, man, we go get the best in the business when it's time. My man, new police chief Troy Fenner, will be here on April 7th. So I just kind of want to, you know, gauge the crowd and see, you know, what is it that you expect from your next police chief? As bad as Houston is, he will be here on the 7th on the War Zone live with us. What is it that you would expect from your new police chief?
Well, let me ask you this, Gary. Now that Chief Acevedos is going, what is going to happen to a lot of those cases that have happened under Chief Acevedos and the ones that Chief Acevedos also inherited when he first came on the scene?
They're going to do what they normally do, push the shit back, you know, try to sweep it under the rug. And, you know, because Troy is right now, what has happened since Troy's been in office? Nothing. And it's gonna be a reflection on him. He was still on the command staff when a lot of this shit went on. So, you know, you gotta hold Troy accountable too, which he does not mind. But the thing is what are these people expecting from a brand new police chief who's still governed by Sylvester Turner, the mayor? Alan Guillory say, I want the new police chief to help the poor, youth, and the elderly. Sound like you're looking for a counselor. One of the things that's wrong with policing nowadays is they got too much other stuff they got to do besides being police officers. You see what I'm saying? You know, you want somebody to help the youth. I get that. But at the same time, you in one of the worst ran cities in the country, one of the highest, you know, crime rates in the country. So do we need them to be counselors, or do we need them to be public servants?
I think they should be both. You know, especially since now we see that they send police officers to the scene. You know, if somebody's loved one is having an issue or something like that, a mental health crisis or something, they send police officers there. And especially when it comes to us, we've normally seen that it doesn't work out in our favor. You know, they usually end up murdered. So I think they need to have some counseling, compassion, something other than just drawing their gun and killing people.
Well, I tell you what, I think Donovan gonna love this. I don't know how y'all missed it. Today in NYC, they got rid of qualified immunity. You motherfucking cops got a problem in New York, I mean. That means you can be personally sued with the shit that y'all been doing. They're not going to protect the police in New York City anymore. Donovan, talk to me, man.
Man, that is a godsend, and I hope New York City, being one of the biggest city in the United States, other cities follow suit, because it's just ridiculous at this point. How do you sit there and say we got to do something right now about the Asian hate and how they're being discriminated against? And you got people that have been here for 400 years that has been experiencing that for 400 years and continually, and we can't get any legislation or any justice based on the fact that he was in his capacity of his job. So we got to protect him from doing that. What gives a person I mean, in some of the cases, like in Tamir Rice's case, he pulls up within 8 seconds and just starts shooting. How does he get protection? It's crazy, long overdue. Oh my God. I can't wait to share this on my podcast. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a game changer, especially if New York did that. New York, of all places, got rid of qualified immunity. It's on and cracking. And, you know, New York, you guys know New York's story with the police brutality. So yeah, I think we'll actually start to see these cops think twice before they pulling out their guns to kill innocent Black people, because now their ass is on the line. They don't have these multi-million-dollar blankets to shield them from when they murder in cold blood. So now we just need all the other states to follow suit.
But I think a lot of people don't even realize where qualified immunity came from. They don't even realize where it came from. It came during the civil rights era, and it came to protect the police that were beating the hell out of Black people. So why is it so hard to get rid of it? I salute the state of New York. I mean, NYC, I salute them, because it just needs to be done. And I'm going to tell you, if you're a cop, man, there go your retirement, homie. You finna lose your retirement. You're going to think twice before you pull that trigger now, man.
Yeah, wait, no, it's the retirement, your union dues that's going to be going to protect on these lawsuits. That union dues is going to increase, and there's not going to be nothing in the kitty if these guys do not change their ways and get back to policing fairly and adequately to how they've got to deal in an interaction. Like I said, to me, it makes no sense for policemen to run around with a handgun. If you gotta pull your gun, other than the taser, go to your car, get your shotgun, and handle some business. But all these accidental shootings and, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. We ain't doing that no more.
Yep, and the house and everything else, college funds and all that is going to go too. So let's switch in the last 10 minutes that we have here or so to another topic. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Lee Daniels is turning The Spook Who Sat by the Door into a series that will be on FX. It is starring Yalen Noah. I guess he played on Insecure with Issa Rae. And he's going to turn it into a series. You guys know The Spook Who Sat by the Door was about a Vietnam vet that turned a CIA operative, and then he was secretly a Black revolutionary that took the stuff that he learned from the CIA back to the neighborhood and taught the men there, you know, how to unify and take back the neighborhood by any means necessary. And so again, Lee Daniels is going to turn that into a series. Now, great. Spook Who Sat by the Door is one of my favorite movies, but I'm concerned because we know that whenever Lee Daniels touches something, it's always some glitter. See, I didn't do it. It's always some glitter. And, you know, y'all, I'm trying not to get us in trouble here.
So let me ask you a question. When you see it on YouTube, you read the book or whatever, is there anything in it that references to the gay culture? I'm going to watch until it turn gay. That's my concern right there. I'm going to say it for you. Who this other motherfucker finna do? What's the other one? They doing a whole black gay new series.
It's I think it's Tyler Perry that's doing the strip show or the strip club for men, and you know, all of that. But So I'm concerned because we know that anytime Lee Daniel touches something, 99.9% of the time, because he said it, it's not my words. Lee Daniel said that the Black community is homophobic, and he's going to make sure that we're not that anymore by getting us to understand and see certain things. Those were his words. And so I should also say, he said he was producing a movie by the name of Super Bitch. Y'all remember Super Bitch? He was a young man, Black man, that was doing cartwheels and stuff with the pink high heel boots. Pink high heel boots on and twirling around in his glitter and stuff. And so Lee Daniels saw him on Instagram and said that he liked it, and he's turning his story into a movie called Super Bitch. And so I just don't want, and listen,
and that's prefaced as a superhero for those that don't know.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a superhero going around saving the day, named Super Bitch. And so I just don't want to see none of that in the spook who sat by the door. I'm gonna let y'all have it.
I mean, it's. I'm watching Narcos. It's about drug trafficking. Before you know it, the Mexican official, the corrupt official, is sleeping with a Mexican man. Y'all keep bringing this shit into everything that we watch. This is why I don't watch TV. You demasculating everybody you can demasculate. I'm sick of it, man. I'm say y'all can have it, bro. But can I need do they got a lot of islands in the Pacific, right, Donovan?
Yeah.
They got one for niggas only.
No.
I need a motherfucking ticket to niggas only island because I ain't got time to be with all this bullshit, man.
You can always make it out to Wake Island. There's no civilian population. Just go out there and kick it out there for a while. But, speaking on movies, for those of you guys that have been following that series Genius about Aretha Franklin, that story the actress that is playing Aretha is the same lady that starred in the Harriet Tubman story. And as you know, she has every bad thing to say about Black people. She's a British actress or whatever, and she has every bad thing to say about Black people. But yet she gets her check from American cinema and playing these roles. Now, I believe the Jennifer Hudson inspired Aretha thing is coming out in August. And Aretha's family has said, do not go support this Aretha one with this British lady because none of them were consulted. It's totally fictitious. I mean, they didn't even consult the family. So I just want to pass that on. If you're watching that show and whatever, Aretha's family says do not support that show because none of them have been consulted. So these people do not even know what they're talking about.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, the family does not want people to support that movie. I know that Aretha's father had a lot of issues, but damn, they do it. To me, it's a hit piece on her dad. I don't think she would be pleased about that. I mean, I heard he was having orgies in the movie and a whole host of just awful things. There was something I was going to say, but I totally forgot. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, somebody talked about Snowfall. Let me tell y'all something. I don't even know what the word privy is a good word. I saw one episode and oh my God. I'm not, I don't have a weak stomach for the most part per se. But this last episode was so gory and horrific. If you guys don't know, Snowfall is a show about some crack in the 80s, right? The crack game and all that in the 80s. John Singleton produced it, but you guys know he's no longer here. And the scene that I saw was so horrific. This young lady stabbed this man. Had to have been 50 times. Okay? The way it was just, and I'm like, no wonder we're effed up in our community. And I was telling Al, because he watches the show, I said, I guarantee you, Jewish people don't put this shit before they people. Asians don't put that kind of mess before they people. But this is the kind of stuff that's pumped into our televisions, into our homes. And we wonder why We got people, not saying that that's all the TV's fault, but damn, I think you got to be pretty asleep at the wheel and missing a few screws to glorify a show such as that. It was like one of the worst things I've seen on TV in a long time.
Well, TV in general, you know, like gay to me is the new pimp and prostitute. You know, back in the day, the only roles that blacks seemed to, you know, they could get was pimps and prostitutes roles. So now they done incorporated the gay scenes into almost every show that you can imagine. But why they always gotta be black? I'm trying to figure this out, man. And I mean they pumping it. It's like they just pumping it and just spoon feeding it to the world. This is how it has to be. No, I ain't see all that shit when I was growing up. You want me to make the adjustment now? No, I'm pro man, I'm pro woman. Whatever God made you, that's what you are. You need to hook up and procreate. You know, I just don't get it, man. I'm it's sickening to me. That's all I can tell anybody. Don't push your ideologies down on everybody else. That's the problem. And please don't push them down on them kids, man. You know, Lil Boosie and Dwayne Wade still getting into it. Boosie didn't double down. He ain't coming off it. Say he not coming off it. What am I supposed to do? Say he wrong? When you raised a certain way, that's just the way that you're raised.
Exactly. And just real quick, I was doing some research in regards to the COVID, because a lot of us are still doing it. And you got a lot of these sports and entertainers talking about don't ask no questions, just stick your arm out and get stuck, right? Like I said, and you're going to have to make a decision what's best for you. Okay. So don't let us sit up here and be like, you know, if it's not in your interest to take the shot, don't take the shot, whatever. But again, you got to do what's best for you. But here's an official statement from the FDA. Okay, just in case you guys don't know, and it's in small print. They don't even want to highlight it. The FDA, the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine is an unapproved vaccine that may prevent COVID-19. There is no FDA-approved vaccine to prevent COVID-19. Right now, this is an emergency use of the vaccine. And you got to be 18 and older to take it, whatever. So no matter what anybody's telling you, if they didn't even approve it, the FDA didn't even approve it, you might want to think about taking it.
Well, let me ask you a question. And I'm just, you know, outside the box. I'm always the difficult one. How the vaccine know how old you is?
Good point. Very good point.
That's a good ass question right there. But yeah, Tisha, that is horrible. Snowfall. And then Alan, how you doing? You say Snowfall is based off of true events. It might be, but why do we need to keep reliving that kind of stuff? It was gory, it's horrific, and of course people's babies are sitting up watching that stuff. Of course they are. They're watching Power, they're watching all of it, and their kids are sitting right there. I mean, I don't think we need to continue. Like, why can't we write some, you know, let's talk about Carter G. Woodson. I'd love to see a movie about Marcus Garvey.
But you got so much other stuff we could talk about. I mean, they could who gonna be bold enough to go make the movie about Barack Obama? Who gonna do it? We got more than enough positivity. Why everything that come out about us gotta be negative and homophobic?
Right. So I mean, I just think we need to start demanding better, but I personally won't be watching that show again. I mean, it kind of freaked me out. I was like, well, damn, how many times did she go stab him? I mean, it was awful. And this is like, but this is TV for Black people now. This is what they give us, you know, and I guess it's acceptable, and then we make excuses for it. I mean, I don't know, y'all, but anyway, I know we out of time. Gary.
Final thoughts, Don.
Again, you guys just heard it. That's an official statement in regards to the Moderna vaccine. It is not approved for anything. There's nothing backing it. They just said they think it might work. I don't know. So you guys be careful if you're going to do that. And again, as everybody's saying in the comments, people are dropping dead. People are still sick, bad side effects. These pharmaceutical companies have been immune from prosecution in any kind of situation like that. So all we're saying on this show is we can't tell you what to do. We're saying that if it's in your best interest and you think it's in your best interest to take the shot, then you go to right on ahead and take the shot. But I would really recommend that you don't, based on the United States government's own FDA that says, if there's no approved vaccine to prevent COVID-19, why are you sticking something in your arm?
You done, Demetria? I can close it out.
Go right ahead.
Fred Davis say, what's positive about Obama? I wouldn't really give a damn, but I ain't got to worry about nobody sucking no dicks. Man, I'm sick of seeing that shit on TV, man. I can't watch about the guff and the dope and the cartels coming through the Panama Canal unless a public official is sucking ass. Man, I'm tired of seeing that. That shit wasn't. I sold dope in the 90s, the late 80s and 90s. And we was not out there fucking each other. We the best in the business. And that's what it is, man. I want to thank my good friend, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetria K. And I am the 5-star general. Keep your zipper zipped up and keep your mouth to yourself until Monday.